Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much, Lydia Washington, for being here first. Okay, happy Monday to you too. Well, let's see. Buttercups. I hope I'm saying that right. Buttercups. Right? Buttercups. Uh, hello, Elaine Parker. Thank you so much for being here. Emma D is here. Emma D, have you met Buttercup? Jan Martin is here. Okay. And Elvis Minot is here. Let's see, Chantel Dixon. All right. And the Ultimate TV channel. Oh, Heather Stroud is here. Yes, yes. Okay. Let me get rid of my face from there and we'll get on with it. Okay. So, yes, Daddy Dearest says no. Mommy Dearest ain't got nothing on Daddy Dearest. Daddy Dearest is a mess. Just big messy. I thought his wife was a big sloppy mess, but he's messy in his own way. Just a mess. Oh man, I'm not even sure what happened. I'm just gonna have to kind of feel my way through this one because I thought, and then I thought, and I said, no, that's not right because they said, anyway, now I'm all confused. I am all confused, but we'll try to figure it out. And then they wonder why Harry walk around with that look on his face like that. Because you never know what they're going to do next. You just never know what that palace is going to do next. Both palaces. This big blaring headline from the people that are going to find out what their fate is tomorrow, as Harry is suing them, the Daily Mail, Harry visit chaos. You know, that is a very loaded word, chaos. It is being used deliberately as a way to shape the narrative about the Sussex's visit, which I think is just down to one person, and that, of course, is Prince Harry. Chaos. They are using the term chaos, just like they were using that term emotional blackmail. All of this language has been introduced to the conversation to really frustrate people like us, to lead, let's say, people that really have no skin in the game, Joe Lunchbucket, um, people that otherwise are just working class people. But then every time they look at the newspaper, every time that they open up their mobiles, you're going to see things that are declaring the Sussexes as disingenuous, as plotting and scheming. This is all very deliberate. And if you ask me, Clarence House and Kensington Palace are directly responsible. Not to mention, of course, the Royal Rota just acting on their own accord. And of course, the ringleader, I know who that is, but I'm not going to say the name, but it's one of the tabloid journalists. I think you know by now. If you don't know, just say oompa loompa loompa dum. Yes, if you know who the Oompa Loompas are, that is the ringleader, the Oompa Loompa. The Oompa Loompa. That broad, the Oompa Loompa. And this was they followed up with this one. Harry turned away. Oh, they are enjoying this. They are enjoying this. They'll find just the right photo. They will. They'll find just the right photo. First, make his father look gracious and thoughtful, and then drop this photo. I'm telling you, it's all part of a much larger narrative designed to confound and confuse anyone who dares support the Sussexes. Before we get to that, though, please join us in offering our heartfelt prayers for the family and friends of our beloved sister, Joy Amore. Joy passed away recently, and our Sussex Squad family uh, will be deeply saddened by her loss. I have to tell you, this really comes as a shock because it's just like the sun coming up in the morning. I just know Joy Amore is gonna eventually find her way to the conversation, and unfortunately, because I'm spinning all these plates, I don't have as much time as you all have to communicate with one another. So I really do feel like I miss out on some really interesting conversations. But um, on this platform, I know that some people have become very close, both on and off of the platform, which is absolutely wonderful. And I'm glad to know that these connections are made. And I'm I'm glad that the platform is useful for other things besides just talking about the Sussexes or whatever the news of the day is. So for that, I am um, very glad. I'm very glad to know that in some way, big or small, that people like Joy Amore or Jerry White has had this community as part of their day, a part of their week. It makes me feel good. And you guys should feel good as well because without you all, there would be no platform. I mean, we wouldn't be here right now. So you should be very proud of that. And also, you should be very grateful to one another because it takes a village. It really does take a village. So, um, yeah, I am very, very shocked. I don't have any other words except I'm just a bit shocked. So, um, But yeah, as I say, take care of yourselves and each other. That's something that we have to a commitment we must renew every day is to take care of ourselves and each other. Ah, yeah, you can say that again. It is a community and like a family. Thank you, Elaine Parker. Yeah. So I tell you what, you guys, for our recent losses, I think we should just have a moment of silence. So I'll uh I'll do this and let's take this time to reflect on the people, everyone that's preceded us, okay? Amen. Amen. Okay. Thank you everyone again for being here. Um, yeah, you guys, we were just celebrating Joy and Moore's birthday in April. Yeah, as I was looking through my slides, I'm like, oh yeah, we just celebrated her birthday in April. Feminegra, one of my favorite news sources, Feminegra. Let's hear what Feminegra has to say. Although I think I'm going to switch it up at some point. I'll probably come back on later and we will get a perspective from Celibacy because that ought to be quite interesting. Um, First, the public was told Prince Harry had been offered a place to stay at Buckingham Palace. And then we were told he did not accept it in time. Then the story shifted to say he accepted after realizing Meghan Sussex and the children would not be coming. And now, according to Loompa Oompa Loompa, Rebecca English, his acceptance came too late. According to Rebecca English, his acceptance has come too late and apparently couldn't be facilitated or staffed in a 775 room palace. There was somehow no room at the Royal Inn. And honestly, it probably would not have made a difference anyway, with the palace sources now suggesting they no longer want to host him because of the court judgment with the Daily Mail. If anyone still believes the palace and its media allies are not coordinating a campaign of hate against the Sussexes, I have a bridge to sell you. So this was never about a missed deadline. It was always about making Harry look difficult. The BBC initially reported that Harry had accepted the invitation. So, right here it says, this is a quote from the BBC, I believe. Prince Harry has formally accepted an invitation to stay at Buckingham Palace for part of his visit to London this week. A spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex has confirmed his stay at the palace will take place as part of a trip to the UK to get ready for the Invictus Games, which will be held in Birmingham next year, and charity events. Yeah. It is understood that he will not be accompanied by his wife, Meghan, and their two children, Archie and Lilibet, when he visits London after it was confirmed that the family would not be provided with taxpayer-funded police security. Now, don't forget, Harry is the son of King Charles III. His father is head of state. Harry is a very high-profile member of the royal family. His father is head of state, and he is a very high-profile individual within that family. And yet, he is not afforded the security that is his birthright. Let that sink in. Now, it continues right here. Following Ravik's decision not to provide security for his family, the Duke spent last week making alternative security arrangements. Once those arrangements were in place, he was able to formally accept the offer of accommodations for himself over the weekend. It is therefore disappointing that the offer has now been withdrawn, with Tuesday's judgment in the Associated Newspaper Limited case cited as the reason. Let me say that again. An Associated newspaper is owned by none other than Lord Nappyhead, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. So let me say that again. Therefore, it is therefore disappointing that the offer has now been withdrawn, with Tuesday's judgment in the Associated Newspaper Limited case cited as the reason. Buckingham Palace has, however, been aware of that judgment since last Thursday. It is therefore unclear why, having formally accepted the accommodation offer, it has now been withdrawn at the last moment. That is a quote from a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex. So Lord Nappyhead will find out his fate and the fate of his horrible newspaper, if you can call that news. The racially ambiguous owner, a man who doesn't even live in the UK, a man that doesn't even pay taxes in the UK. However, his tabloid media machine is one of those sources that affects the outcome of the politics, the way the royal family is revered or not. Anyway, it is a ghastly business. It is the worst of the worst. And you can't believe anything that comes out of that paper. Anything. A room at the palace was never really the point. The whole Buckingham Palace accommodation story feels like palace humiliation by briefing. Firstly, the public is told Harry was offered a place to stay. Then we are told he did not accept it in time. Then we are told he accepted it after realizing Meghan and the children would not be coming. Now there is apparently no room at the Royal Inn because it's inappropriate for the king to accommodate his son because his son took the media to court. Now, Kate Manzi of the Times, and I almost can't take her face some days. God, that smug look on her face, her and anyway, um, the date clash is a coincidence. This is Kate Manzi at the Times. The date clash is a coincidence. Harry can't dictate when a judge might deliver their decision any more than he can dictate that the UK police should provide armed security for his visit. Still, it makes for excruciating timing for the king, who has offered his youngest son royal accommodations during the stay and has always warned against such litigation. Harry is unlikely to let any judgment pass without comment, which means that he could end up issuing a statement from a royal residence. Y'all get that? He could end up issuing a statement against the outcome or approving of the outcome, depending on how it goes. And so the last thing they want is for Harry to issue a statement on the 7th of July when we are going to find out exactly what the outcome of this court case is. They don't want him inside of a royal residence when that happens. That's interesting. Meghan has so far kept far away from the court action and did not accompany Harry when he gave evidence in January, saying that the press had made his wife's life a misery. That's Kate Manzi, another one of those smug people whose face I can't take on the best of days, not to mention the worst. Kind of like that Roy and Nika and all the rest of them. I just cannot take it. That smug, arrogant look they have on their faces. Ooh, it's more than an ocean. Okay, now, it says here, the loving grandfather narrative falls apart. The language around the story is also very telling. They kept stressing that Harry will be staying alone, as though it is not the exact outcome the institution seems to prefer. His family was cut off. Harry was isolated on UK soil. Harry is left to deal with the palace briefing machine by himself. Again, the media looks ridiculous that they keep spinning King Charles as the loving grandfather, which of course he is not, desperate to see his mixed race grandchildren, which of course he doesn't want to. But these actions by the king are callous and cruel, and they should not shock the public. Charles' treatment of Diana has long shaped how many people view him, and his treatment of Harry will now only deepen that suspicion. These latest actions make it fair to question how much care he truly has for Harry either. Charles, in conjunction with the press, does not appear to want reconciliation. He appears to want control. Offer Harry accommodation, brief the details, pull the rug, then make the story about Harry being the problem. The palace gets the optics of generosity without having to provide the reality of care. Now, a final thought from Feminacre. At this point, the accommodations itself also feels secondary. A bed at Buckingham Palace was never going to fix a deeper problem. Harry's family still did not feel safe enough to come to London. Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet are still absent. And the same press machine that spent years demanding reconciliation is now turning even a canceled room offer into another opportunity to blame Harry. That is what makes the whole episode so revealing. The palace can find endless ways to brief, delay, qualify, and withdraw. What it cannot seem to provide is a clear, humane path for Harry to return to his family safely and without public humiliation. The contrast is ugly. You know, I started to add something to that, but I'm just going to leave that alone. Harry. I was going to add something to that. When I said the contrast is ugly, I felt triggered all of a sudden. But I'm not going to go there because I'm a gentleman and I have integrity. I'm kind, I'm sweet, and I just ain't going to go there. So I'm just going to leave it as is. The contrast is ugly. Harry. Okay. The contrast is ugly. Okay, I can do this. I'm going to try not to think about them. The contrast is ugly. Harry repaid 2.4 million renovation costs for Frogmore Cottage and was later evicted by King Charles, his own father, from one of UK home that gave his family privacy and continuity. Now, even temporary accommodations is being treated like a privilege. He must earn without causing institutional discomfort. So, no, this does not look like a family trying to heal. It looks like an institution trying to manage optics while keeping Harry isolated, exposed, and blamed. Charles may want credit for extending an olive branch, but an olive branch that can be withdrawn at the last minute is not reconciliation. It is leverage. And the more these stories are briefed into the press, the clearer the picture becomes. Harry is welcome only when he is controlled. Thank you, Feminagra. What a powerful piece. What a powerful piece. I love it. As a matter of fact, we got to give Feminagra some flowers. Now, I noticed that there was a couple of, there we go. From my new grandson, Elijah. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Elijah, do you know how to dance? Do you dance, Elijah? Because I think all of us need to take a stretch because it's the only way that we are going to kind of shake some of this tension that we feel because of the racially ambiguous owner of the anyway. Thank you, Elijah, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, and John Garcia says, Baron and fellow squatties, a squatties family of Sussex supporters is great and comforting for all of us. May we continue to bless each other and be blessed. It's fine. Haters can never understand us. Thank you very much, Joan Garcia. They just don't have what we have. They really don't. Those hateful channels, they don't have what we have. They don't have community. If people only come together just so that they can, I guess, make life difficult for two people that happen to love each other very much, what hope do they have for their own happiness? It's pretty sad, actually. But fortunately, there's nothing over here but love and salsa music. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you for 54 months membership. Okay. I'll take that away. Now, Prince Harry's offer to stay at Buckingham Palace during London visit withdrawn at last moment after he accepted it. That's People Magazine. People Magazine. And I got a soundbite for you. You know, everyone keeps saying that this is embarrassing for not only the monarchy, but for Britain itself. It's embarrassing. But you know what I realized earlier today? We're not talking about King Charles taxes anymore, are we? Nobody is talking about King Charles taxes. What we're talking about is where Harry is going to lay his head at night. What we're talking about is that two children who are completely innocent, just as innocent as the Wellses' children, those children are being affected by this. And of course, there's Meghan, long-suffering Meghan, who hasn't done anything to anybody. Meghan, who had committed herself to serving Queen Elizabeth with everything she had. Meghan could not wait to get to work. And that zeal to do a good job, that American energy, that American work ethic was not welcome by an institution such as the British royal family. That is very hurtful to me because I have that American work ethic. I've had some good jobs and some bad jobs, but I showed up on time and prepared for work. Obviously, that's not what the palace wants. Anyway, let me get to this soundbite.
Got into the office this morning, the news was Prince Harry's coming over. He's leaving his family behind because of the police protection, but he's staying at Buckingham Palace. Mm-hmm. And before we came on air, that has now completely reversed. Yes. He is no longer staying because the palace says he didn't reply to the invitation in time.
It's insane that you cannot stay at your own dad's house because you didn't do the administration in time. I think for me, I think it's a really easy home run and win for the royal family to fix and remedy the situation. It would look so good to so many people. They would feel safer. They would feel more connected to the royal family if they could repair this. And the thing is, what makes it even more embarrassing is he's actually making the effort. He comes, he turns up, even though he has no protection, doesn't seem to be particularly welcome. He doesn't seem to be getting along with his siblings either. But I think there is just an easy remedy for the royal family that would really help everyone and how we perceive them. And at the moment, they're kind of grinding themselves into obscurity. And I think the difference is that when Harry and Meghan were first getting married and it was Will and Kate, we saw this as the face of a brand new royal family. And I was excited. I was like, I can accept this. This feels relatable to me. But they have done everything to destroy that image of their own accord. And I'm just like, this is so bad. And so they are failing him. You know, as a man that protects my family, protecting your family is 3 steps ahead of punching someone in the face if they try to get you in front of your family. It's about protecting them from the energy. It's about protecting them from the newspapers and protecting them from anything that can come off. And the way that they've been spoken about is just disgraceful, man. I'm really sad about it, to be honest.
Alice, is Britain failing, Harry?
Look, I agree with you. I think everybody wants to see a reconciliation. I think this kind of bizarre hokey-cokey, where's he staying? Is he bringing his kids? I think I heard over the weekend the palace describe it as suboptimal, which is brilliant royal understatement. I disagree. I totally agree with you that the whole nation was excited about Harry and Meghan as a modern face of the royalty. Where I disagree is I think that it's Harry and Meghan who've exploded that by leaving the royal family, by insulting Britain, and now insisting that taxpayers need to pay for their security. When he lives in a country bristling with guns, he's prepared to go to a war zone. I just don't buy this argument about his security. I think it's confected, and I think it's a way that he's manipulating the royal family.
Which bit do you think is good? Because I think the argument is because they pay for their own security anyway. They have private security. They have it in the US. They can bring it over here, even though, from what I understand, the gun-carrying US part of it can't carry weapons in the UK. But the big problem, and I think that came up in the court case, is the issue of intelligence sharing. So it's all very well for us to pay for our own bodyguards. We're happy to do it. But if we don't have intelligence sharing with the police, then actually that protection is not going to be as effective.
Look, to me, it's a simple case of he wants taxpayers to stump up. He's a very wealthy man, and he's walked away from his...
That's not the issue at hand, though.
Hold on. The taxpayer has funded security for Taylor Swift. She is a very wealthy woman. Beyonce, Tom Cruise, J.K. Rowling. Well, I was trying to stay away from other royals. And actually, the king is funding the security for Prince Andrew. But, crucially, the crux of this complication when it comes to security and Harry is not the cost of it, because Harry has said he's willing to fund it. He doesn't want the taxpayer to have to fund it. It's the access to the intelligence, and it's the access to also maybe a bit of security with weapons. Maybe he's got used to that in America. I don't know whether that's part of it, but that certainly comes along with getting the taxpayer.
There have been credible threats made against his life, though.
His wife's.
And his wife's life. And there has been
I don't deny that he's a target, but as far as I can send, his issue is that they were going to decide his security on a case-by-case basis. So if they thought that he was under threat, or if he was carrying out royal duties, for example, then of course he can have access to police security, but not if he just turns up willy-nilly.
What do you make of what's just happened this morning? He was staying at the palace. Now he's not staying at the palace because he didn't reply in time. Harry's team has said the reason it took him longer to reply is because he's organising his own security, and that took a little bit of time to rejig, perhaps. What do you make of this sort of, the deadline's gone, sorry, you can't stay here?
Yeah, and I think you put it best. I think it's bizarre that a son can't stay at his own father's house. I mean, it would have been his house if he stayed in the royal family. It seems very strange and very sad.
Now, that was the lady in that horrible animal print who just said that stupid thing about he just showed up willy-nilly. She knows full well that Harry was told he must comply with I think it was 28-day, 30-day notice before he arrives. And at that point, they will assess. They did not do an assessment. They don't even want to know whether or not he's at risk. And she knows this. And that slipped right past without resistance. This is why I tell you guys, these platforms, these panels, they are dangerous for your health. They will elevate your blood pressure because this is performance with just a whisper of information, a hint of resistance. This is performative. They do not mean to move this to the next level. And she was there. You could see how she's leaning and gesturing with her hands. She was there to make sure that she sows seeds of doubt and confusion so that there is no way that the public is going to somehow side with Prince Harry. Willy-nilly shows up. Every time he willy-nilly shows up, he complied and he was still told no. They are not going to put someone on television that is going to give a vigorous pushback. That is just not going to happen. All of this is orchestrated by both houses of Windsor and by the press, by the Oompa Loompa. All of it. All of the words that are used have been selected in advance so that they can feign some type of debate or argument. There really is none. At every sit down, there is always someone like her to cancel out any progress. This is why I only watch these when they are recommended by other squatties. I only watch these if I have enough juice to explain exactly how this is flawed. And it is very flawed. They pretty much gave her, I've never even seen this beastly woman in this horrific, tragic animal print that she got out of some five and dime somewhere. This thing that she fished out of the bottom of a clearance rack. I have never seen her before. But she had a job to do, and she was very effective. Very effective. I will give her that much credit. She was very, very effective. Now, the lady in maroon, she gave a great, pushback, but, she could only go so far. And don't forget, I don't know how many of them may have the mic in their ear or receiving some kind of signal from a producer, but the producer will say, hey, let them get in there. Right? I don't know if they use a light signal or what, but trust and believe this was a performance. Not information, not a conversation, and I can guarantee you everyone sitting on those sofas are paid for their work. They're paid to be there. And I think that most people look at these and just assume that the person just showed up, that this person has some type of connection and that they were called upon to help sort some things out. No, they're paid. There is I say it's a standing army, but in Chicago politics, we would call it a machine with many moving parts, and everyone has a role to play. The Sussexes are up against is a machine. And I tell you, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. They will do just fine so long as they're not over there. And the real tragedy is Harry may never get the opportunity to share his history of being a British man. He'll never get the chance to, or he may never get the chance to share that history with his children. He may never have the opportunity to create new memories with his children. That's all he wants. It bothers them. This is one of the things that they have said, is that Harry wants the whole kit and caboodle. He wants the flashing lights, the Range Rovers, the motorcade. If you can give something like that to Sophie Wessex, who's not even in line for the throne, if you can give something like that to Sophie Wessex, someone whose motorcade has maimed, injured, and killed, if you can give that to Sophie Wessex, surely you can accommodate the son of the head of state. They have no shame, they have no remorse, they have no regret. And of course, they're not embarrassed. They are not in the least bit embarrassed. Oh, let's see. Thank you very much for the PayPal. All really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Well, I may have a couple of other. Let's see. You know, it's a real shame that there's not any type of U.S. media that gives continued and fair coverage of the Sussexes. Even that's on a case by case basis. The U.S. media basically feeds off of whatever comes boiling over from there. And so there's no machine for the Sussexes. We are the machine. It's just we don't have the reach. Our voices are not as loud, but darn it, we are persistent. We are persistent. We will be present and accounted for. Hey, Church Nelly, I didn't know you were here. That family is vicious. The Confederate flag being flown on unroyal property wasn't a coincidence. The racist media isn't going to report on it. It needs to be plastered nonstop all over social media. Yes, it does. It really does. Okay, thank you for your comment. Let's see. I made that video yesterday. The real reason. They want to degrade Harry. They really want to degrade him. They do not want him to have anything that reflects his position within the royal family. They do not want to reflect the fact that he is just behind William's children in terms of his place for the throne. He's just behind William's children. In the line of succession, I believe he's what, number 4? Number 3? No. Number 5, I believe. Number 5, Archie is 6, Lilibet is 7, and that sick old man is number 8. And they do not want to demonstrate any kind of respect whatsoever for his position. They do not want him elevated in the eyes of the British public. I even hear some of the so-called reporters and royal experts, there are a few that will even say that they're not royal anymore. They will actually say that they are not royal. And that is one thing that Professor Tim Wilson is very adamant about. This idea of working royal is ridiculous. There is no place, there is no precedent about who is and who is not a working royal. You know where that title comes from? That comes from the fact that there was a woman of color, a woman of African descent, an American, who married into that family. And so the first time in the history of that family, they decided to use the term working royal, non-working royal. Oh, well. We got to hear this. Narendra is no fan of that family. And I guarantee you, she always hits the mark. So let me get Narendra up here. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, Narendra, you say.
Whichever way you slice the pie, the fact that a king can't accommodate his own son.
I think she started off with careful when you slice the pie.
Whichever way you slice the pie, the fact that a king can't accommodate his own son in a palace because of this alleged too late notice, etc., is absolutely diabolical. They've accommodated Trump so many times. Harry fought for this country, 2 tours in Afghanistan. It is confirmed by numerous intelligence sources, including the FBI, that he's a target of Al-Qaeda because he killed some 25 members of the Taliban. His life is at risk. His children's lives are at risk. They are 5th, 6th, and 7th in line to the monarchy. He's the son of a king. He is the brother of a future king, and his security and safety cannot be guaranteed. Is bad enough. But for the king, who did everything for his side piece Camilla before she became a royal, cannot even accommodate his own son. How hurtful that must be. No wonder. I don't even think Harry is coming back for Invictus games. This is for wounded veterans. The man does so much good. And his own father can't accommodate him. The optics are disgusting. And the royal family wonder why they're so unpopular with the...
You know what? I just thought about something. Maybe the point of this is to build a case against Harry's role with the Invictus games by creating an atmosphere where they can make the case that his life is so complicated that it is detrimental to the Invictus games. And one of the reasons why I could believe that that is part of a plan is because where is the military community? Now, I know that there is an oath to Charles III, but there are veterans who are more than capable of speaking out on Harry's behalf, and I just don't recall hearing from any of them. I wonder if that is part of some kind of plot. Because Invictus is huge. It is huge. And they would want nothing better than to hand that over to, well, I don't even want to think about who they would hand it over to, but they would want nothing better than that. These are the same people that are still protecting that ogre, Andrew. Now, I played the wrong soundbite. Right person, but wrong soundbite. So okay. So let me do the other soundbite here. And same person. I just had, oh, there it is.
If the king, the unifier of the country, cannot unify his own family and can't even see his grandchildren when visiting America, I don't have a lot of respect for the king right now.
Do you think in any way Prince Harry is in some part the author of his current family misfortunes?
No, not at all. He is a prince of this country. Him and his children are 5th, 6th, and 7th in line to the throne. He is the son of a king. He is the brother of the future king. And he did 2 tours of Afghanistan. He fought for this country. He killed, according to him in his book, 25 members of the Taliban. And the FBI followed up on intelligence that he was a target, that he is at risk of death. Why they can't be giving security, police protected security. I can't understand why people aren't up in arms about this.
But he's no longer a working. But Narendra, he's no longer a working royal, is he?
Well, actually, he is a working royal, I would say. He does a lot on the world scene. He's still using his platform. He does a lot of good. And this is for the Invictus Games. This is for soldiers, wounded soldiers. And the fact is, if he's on British soil, if he can't bring his own children who are 6th and 7th in line to the throne because their lives are at risk,
Yes.
and rather have not done a risk assessment, I said there's a lot of questions there because God forbid if anything happened. Can you imagine if the king...
You know, the lack of urgency for people to see a doctor with the NHS, the lack of urgency to get young people on the housing ladder, the lack of urgency to clean up the waterways, to provide cooling shelters when there's a heat wave. There's so much lack of urgency going on, but they will be preoccupied with this circus and a soap opera about where the Sussexes stay. Will they or won't they bring the children? They got all kind of time for that. And again, well, he's no longer a working royal. It is part of a list of responses, sound bites, approved of responses. And Narendra, God bless her, is talking as fast as she can, hoping that she doesn't get cut off, that he won't speak over her. You notice that when she was speaking on TikTok or whatever it was, her voice was very slow and deliberate. But with this guy, you can tell that her heart rate is elevated. She's talking very fast. She's getting out everything that she needs to say before, for whatever reason, she is no longer able to share her thoughts. It's like night and day. There's the Narendra who was on her own platform speaking on behalf of Prince Harry, or speaking for to support Prince Harry. And then there's Narendra who is on LBC with someone who appears to be quite conservative and probably a Brexiteer, all of those things. And she has to talk really fast. Otherwise, she may never get her point across. This is some of the worst theater. I mean, kabuki theater is very loud and dramatic and somewhat puzzling. But this, unfortunately, we know exactly what the plot is. There's no language barrier. We know exactly what the plot is. And the plot goes as usual. Humiliate Prince Harry whenever and wherever possible. Remind him that he's married to someone that they will never accept. The children, they'll take them or leave them. They don't really care one way or the other. And I'm going to say this once again. I don't blame most people for getting this wrong. I'm talking about just the everyday civilian. I don't blame them for getting this wrong because they are bombarded. It's just like election time in the US. We are bombarded with commercials over and over again. You cannot open up your phone. You can't turn on the telly. You can't do anything without hearing from a candidate that you've already decided that you're going to vote for, or that you may not even vote at all. But yet you are still subject to that information. And misinformation campaigns like the anti-Harry campaign, the anti-Meghan campaign, is pretty robust. It's pretty robust, and it is very difficult to disprove a negative. And I know that it seemed like it would be so easy. Oh, the Sussexes need to just sit down with the reporters and clear the air. Whatever you say, they're going to find some kind of way to chop it up, and they'll take each point and assign some type of scheme behind it. Or they're going to say, you got that wrong. There's something about that that's not right. And, you know, the Sussexes are confused again. That is the plot. And wherever they can't make the point, there's another so-called royal expert, a reporter, journalist, whatever you want to call them. There's another one right there to take their place. Joan Garcia says, Baron, that Richard guy tried that months ago. He said Harry should step down from the Invictus Games. The Invictus Games CEO quickly said they would support Invictus founder Harry. Oh, well, thank you for that information. I was not aware of that, but yeah, I think that is the plot, is to demonstrate that the other so-called royals somehow can maintain their positions without any controversy, without any unwanted attention, and to label all things Harry and Meghan chaos. That's what I believe. Oh, I tell you, the plot thickens. Oh. Papa. Ladies and gentlemen, Papa. Papa. Someone who always has some little quip or joke or something like that. I mean, this guy is a masterclass of working a room. This is the man who charmed the United States Congress. Someone who has helped to orchestrate the gifting of titles, endowments for his charity, cash for honors, you name it. He's been guilty of it or has, at the very least, participated in it. He wrote a book condemning his parents. Or should I just say, questioning their paternal and maternal instincts. So if anybody understands why it is necessary, why it is therapeutic to write a book, he should know. This is when Charles was a child and his mother ascended to the throne, and she stayed away on the royal yacht Britannia for 6 months at sea. When the Britannia returned to the UK, rather than embrace her child, Queen Elizabeth stuck her hand out to shake the child's hand. Everybody's grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, did that. So he has a list of grievances of his own. Oh, well, thank you very much for the Cash App. I really do appreciate that. Oh, okay. Well, enjoy your trip. I am so happy for you. Live your best life. Thank you so much for that. And by the way, you guys, speaking of live your best life, in case you just joined us, I'm going to go back here for a second. We lost our beloved Joy Amore. We lost our beloved Joy Amore. And so it was just a reminder looking at this message from the Cash App. Live your best life. You know what we can do? We can live our best life. We can go out and touch grass. We can stand in the sun and feel the warmth of the rays of that sun on our skin. We could take a walk every day. There's so many things that we can do to celebrate the lives of those that have gone before us, because I know they would want the best for us. You should always live your best life. as a way to celebrate those that we lost. That is the best thing that you can do, is to take the good advice they gave, to do something that reminds you of your loved ones. That is the best thing that you could do, is to live your best life. It's a way to celebrate those we have lost. So anyway, again, Joya Moore has passed away unexpectedly, and I am very, very, very shocked by that, because Joya Moore was just such a fixture amongst the chat group. So, yeah. Okay. So just to let you know, just in case you don't go back and catch up wherever you whatever you missed. All right. Now, where was I? Okay, we had Narinda in the house, Toy Soldiers, another Sussex soap opera. I'm telling you, these words are like billboards. These headings for these articles are just like a billboard. And they are made to persuade people into a certain mindset. Now, one of the squaddies has done some of the best of these AI-generated images. Deadbeat grandfather of eternity. Wicked stepmother. That goes without saying. And not only is she a wicked stepmother, but she seems to have a bit of that Habsburg DNA, right? Oh, she looks like a chip off the old Habsburg. And then, of course, sulking to her left is biggest petulant brother award to William, and failing mediocre PR. Is that, what is a Prinny? Okay, PR Prinny. That, of course, is mediocre Middleton herself, Catherine the Great. So those are, of course, badges of honor, not the ones they hope for, but definitely what they deserve. Definitely what they deserve. And of course, chin up. They're very proud of what they have achieved by creating whatever inconvenience that they could have possibly created to disrupt the Sussex's plans. So I do hope they are proud of themselves, because I say this is a lot of orchestration that they have just pulled off. Now, Kate Middleton's suit is a crime against fashion. This is not the suit from the Wimbledon. This was the suit that she wore to Italy. Yeah, that's the suit that she wore to Italy. A crime against fashion. I am living for the comments. Laugh Out Loud brought a camera crew to watch her shake hands of the people in line waiting to go in like a Walmart greeter, but Meghan's Netflix. Of course, that references to Wimbledon. Again, that suit is not Wimbledon. Here's another one. I wish Kate loved working as much as she loves attending Wimbledon. Next. These lazy people class watching sport games as work. These lazy people class watching sport games as work. Next, the royals work by watching people work. I want that job. But it says true, but this is the only type of work she enjoys, is watching other people work. What do you mean grifting is a full-time vacation? A vocation. A full-time vocation. Okay, this is also in reference to Wimbledon. You can't tell she, let me see. I'm sorry, you can tell that is very small. You can tell she doesn't have a stylist. The jacket is too big. The jacket, she was swimming in that jacket. Historically, her clothes have always been so well tailored. Even if I don't like the outfit, it was tailored to look bespoke. What happened? Did she lose her stylist and tailor? Yeah. The next person says, I'm underwhelmed. Next to that is oversized is different than too big. Oversized is different than too big. Going for Meg's quintessential, going for Meg's quintessential oversized fit, except it just seems ill fitting on her. At least the ponytail looks better than her usual hairdo. Also, isn't this the first time she's worn a pantsuit to Wimbledon? Yes, it is. As harsh as it sounds, next, as harsh as it sounds, she's really boring to look at. As harsh as it sounds, she's really boring to look at. Let's see. Let me see. Is it LSW Smile? Okay. Okay. It says here Charles and his gang of mediocre royals are phonies. Yes, they are. And even worse, they don't care. Who knows it? Thank you so much for the super chat. Now, Kate Mountains and helicopter transponder data. King Henry VIII, one of our favorite squaddies. Oh my God, I miss Henry VIII and her mother with their podcast. Okay, let me really focus on this one. The literal minute it came out that there is 11 hours of driving included in the 3-peak challenge, I knew we would eventually find out about helicopters, says Henry VIII. Well, read this post. The palace wasn't honest about her doing it solo, and it appears that she was flown between sites. And then Nina says, ha ha, I said it, and I bet she didn't actually climb the whole distance. Just wait. And then next to that, it says, if she was flown between sites, what else are they hiding? At this point, wouldn't surprise me if it turns out that the helicopter took her to the top of the mountain and all she did was walk down it. You know what, you guys? Kate is there to inspire. She is there to inspire. There is no personal best for her. Kate is not ambitious enough to want to be the best of anything in particular. Kate's real virtue is that she knows how to wait for what she wants, not work for it, wait for it. Interesting. Now, back to the Italian pantsuit. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think it's the fabric. Looks a bit cheap 1970s polyester, which I highly doubt it is. The color works on her, though. But I would like to appeal to KP Moles in this I guess it's a subgroup here, to guide her toward more greens: bottle green, emerald green, racing green, not slop olive. Yeah, Kate looks horrible in olive colors. So yeah, that suit that she's wearing cost a whopping, oh no, the blazer itself was $2,000 $20. And the trousers were $970. So that's a $3,000 outfit she's wearing. Even though the outfit makes her leg look like it's on backwards, that is a $3,000 outfit. Just wait. It'll be at the thrift store soon enough. You'll find it at one of those thrift stores. Now, this is the suit that she wore to Wimbledon. Now, remember, Kate loves to wear blue. That is her favorite color to wear, which is interesting because it's also Camilla, the Queen Consort's favorite color. Now, sometimes I cannot be shady enough by myself, so I get by with some help from some friends. Like Martin, who doesn't know he's my friend, but he is. Martin is going to help us out this time.
Happy Sunday, how the heck you doing? And as you expected, and as I...
Okay, buffering. Uh-oh.
You doing? And as you expected, and as I certainly expected...
Oh, is my battery low? Uh-oh.
Peaks charity endeavor is continuing.
Oh, I guess it is low.
Because believe...
But that's okay. I'll do it directly. Give me just a second here. Okay, Martin, any day now. Come on, Martin. You can do this. And cue Martin. Okay, maybe we'll come back to Martin. Okay, yeah, we'll come back to Martin because Martin is not Martining.
Happy Sunday, how the heck you doing? And as you expected, and as I certainly expected, despite the PR fluff from Kensington Palace, a story which has been proved to be an absolute fallacy, Kate's Three Peaks charity endeavour is continuing to fall apart. Because believe it or not, people can track helicopters, even the royal helicopter post-flight, obviously not while it's in flight, in the UK. And it turns out that a helicopter was sent from Windsor to the base of Snowdon. Was it the base of Snowdon or was it nearer the top? I feel that it was nearer the top. That's my own opinion. You can make your own. This is giving the impression, as we all suspected, that these 11 hours to drive between the peaks were actually covered by a helicopter. And obviously, if you have a helicopter that's present, it's not actually always possible to land at the base of the peaks. I feel that Kate probably had a lot of assistance. I'll tell you why in a minute. I feel that Kate had assistance between the peaks by helicopter. So the driving story was full of lies. Solo trip, driven between the peaks, lies, lies, lies. And if they lie about the small stuff, you know, what else could they lie about? If they're not bothered about facts that are small, what else aren't they bothered about? We saw Kate prancing around Wimbledon without a care in the world later in the week. And I do not care how physically fit you are as a person. If you did the Three Peaks in 24 hours, You would not be prancing around Wimbledon a couple of days later. Believe me, I've done it, and I know people that have done it as well. It absolutely exhausts your body, and the number of injuries and strains you will have post doing this, even if you are a legendary marathon runner or climber, is unbelievable. You would not be prancing around Wimbledon looking like this challenge never existed. Harsh words to end on. My opinion's not important. Yours is. Comments are open. Tell the world.
Okay, that is Martin from Ministry of Hacks. He made a very valid point. Even the most fit person would be unlikely to have the energy that Kate Middleton had, Commoner Kate, at the Wimbledon if they had actually climbed all three of those mountains. You need time to recover. You need time. I mean, when did she train? When did she train to go up the mountains in the first place? When did she find time to do that? And then, of course, the whole thing about 11 hours to drive between the mountains. I could not imagine that Kate Middleton spent 11 hours of her time doing exactly what they claim she has done. Just like the idea that she has done this solo, the palace said solo, just like it was the palace who said that Kate does not have cancer. It's always the palace says something first. Just like the palace said that William did not skip his godfather's memorial service because of Kate Middleton. It was something wholly different. And then, of course, when we hear that Kate has that, then we find out, oh, yes, yes, yes. That's why William was unavailable for his godfather's memorial service. That's exactly what it was. Even though it was not one, but at least 5, maybe 6 of the Royal Rota who said it had nothing to do with Thomas Kingston. It had nothing to do with Thomas Kingston. It should not be assumed that William's absence is in regard to Thomas Kingston. The thing is, nobody asked that question. They volunteered an answer that no one even asked. A question that was not asked. So you cannot trust Kensington Palace. You cannot trust Clarence House / Buckingham Palace. They are untrustworthy. They will fix it and establish it in any way they choose. Now, according to the Telegraph newspaper, the Prince and Princess of Wales will have a packed schedule of engagements next week. That's this week, which will end with the traditional charity polo match and Wimbledon finals. And what happens after that? Vacation, holiday, vacation, a trip abroad, a billionaire's yacht, whatever the case may be. That is how they will make up the rest of their summer. So it's work hard and play later. But the only reason why they're putting forth this effort is because the Sussexes were scheduled to come to town. That is the only reason. Oh, and you guys, it gets pathetic. It really gets pathetic. By the way, I love that AI image right there. I love that one. If only it were real. Yeah. You know, we have seen so many inconsistencies that is difficult to even mention it now, because it seems like there's no regard for the truth. So it's almost not even worth mentioning, but you do keep letting us know what you find inconsistent, just so that we don't think we're losing our minds here. And thank you for your comment. Now, right there, the Times of London, the Times, you can see the time. Oh, that's Scotland's issue of the Time newspaper. You can see inside of her jacket, I actually enlarged that image right there on the front page. But do you think that they are going to spend much time, if any, talking about the microphone? I don't think so. I do not think so. Oh, what a twisted web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Look at there, glowing just as bright. I mean, that is ET phone home bright. It's going to be a bright, bright microphone day. I can see clearly you have a microphone. I can see all the cameras are in your way. You can go home knowing that you have worked and be around another day. Yes, she's going to be around another day. And then after all of this work is done, it's off to Ibiza, or to, what is that place? Mystique. That's it. The Isle of Mystique. It's off to the Isle of Mystique. Look at there. Cameras, microphones. If it doesn't look like the crew of Netflix, I don't know what it is. Oh, it is the crew of Wellsflix. Wellsflix. They have their own network. The Duke and Duchess of Wales. Prince and Princess of Wales. Yeah. They have their own network. Oh, a real royal love affair. Kate's one-time girl Friday steps out with Will's ex-right-hand man. I had so much fun talking about that the other day. I do hope that we will find out that their budding romance is the reason why William never, or should I say, we hope that their romance is the reason why Kate lost her right hand and that William lost his equerry. It's just fun. It really is fun to think of that. And poor Chris Jackson, the photographer, I wonder if he saw it coming. All that time that they were working close to one another. Actually, I take that back. Why would William's equerry have a close friendship with Kate's dresser, Kate's stylist? No wonder Kate started looking so bad, because she was in love and wasn't paying attention. When Kate was like, well, what am I going to wear? Just wear whatever you want to, Mom. Just wear whatever you want to. It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, you're either copying off of Meghan or you wearing a coat dress. Why even bother? Just wear something. Okay. Hey, Janice Goodrich. This was very upsetting to so many people. This is the image of some subversive group that I think it was like 800 of them. You know, they're no longer wearing the white hoods and robes. They are wearing cargo or khaki pants, a blue polo shirt, and whatever the baseball cap says. And their goal is to remind people of color that they are not welcome in these United States. That's pretty much it. And I have to say, I don't suspect there was any violence or anything like that. And they're probably not armed, but just look at the size of the group. Humongous, massive. Okay. And you see that woman sitting there by herself. Someone even said that this will probably become a Pulitzer Prize winning photo. Not this one, but this one. Oh, no, not this one. Oh, I'll get to it. Did I pass it up? No, I'll get to it. Just a reminder, a century ago, white Protestant extremists marched on Washington. J. Kelly Baker is a writer and scholar of the KKK in the 1920s. She sees frightening similarities between that culture and the violence at the Capitol in 2000. I'm sorry, in for the January 6th, for January 6th, that there seems to be a lot of similarities. And I know that some of y'all have never seen that image before, but that image is Washington, D.C. And these subversives are openly marching. Oh, boy. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I mean, look at that. On American streets, the Capitol, no less. Wow. Now, let's see. Hundreds of masked members of the white nationalist group Patriot Front, that's the name of it, marched through parts of Washington, D.C. on July the 4th, ahead of the 250th anniversary of Independence Day in the U.S. The group posted on social media that it had arrived in the Capitol with about 400 members, and they were photographed on the D.C. Metro trains wearing white face coverings and sunglasses. Many were carrying the group flag, Confederate flags, and variations of the American flag, at times chanting, "Reclaim America, reclaim America," they were chanting. That is the photo right there. There is this one woman on the train, at least she's the only one that I see. That is the photo. That is the photo. Oh, this is out of order. I am so sorry. That photo should have been with the others, but sorry about that. Anyway, I'm through talking about her. King and Queen advertised photographer role to create an on-trend content. Charles and Godzilla could mirror the Prince and Princess of Wales social media operation with the help of new recruit that is, who will be paid up to £52,000 a year. That's 52,000 pounds to help them look good. And yes, the picture on the right is AI, but fun, but fun. You know, it's in those bags, cash for honors. Yeah, that's what's in those bags, cash for honors. It looks like they're taking out the trash, but they're actually collecting funds for people who want those honors, allegedly. Well, I'm just about done, you guys, but I want you to take another. Oh, I didn't been on here almost 2 hours. I want you to take another look at this picture right here. This is what haunts Charles, and that is Not My King, the Republic group. All of this time that he's been crapping all over his son, there are people out there who, whether he likes it or not, are waiting to take a dump on him too. That's why his face looks like that, because, well, they seem to be there every time. Yep, that is Charles III, like a scared little rabbit. Look at the glass. No, not the glass. You see that chrome? See how that chrome is all yellow? You know why it's yellow, don't you? You know why it's yellow, and I don't need to tell you why it's yellow. You know why that glass is yellow. Yes, this is why it's yellow. I love it. I love it. Is he crying? Is he crying? Anti-monarchists plan protests at coronation of Britain's King Charles. Harry, if you all remember, Harry flew in and flew out as fast as possible. He even carried his own coat hanger so he could hang up his suit. Greed, Panama Papers, corruption, tax havens, politics, and something else it says down there, probably cash for honors. Oh, okay. So this is the very last thing that I have, is it? Well, almost. Yeah, just about. Take a look at this. I just happened across this. Imagine filming a Black woman the whole flight journey and thinking you're the victim. Well, this lady took a picture of the person in the seat next to her. She says, I spent my whole flight wondering what the clouds look like. And someone else added to the conversation. They said, she's probably spent the whole flight wondering why she was seated next to an asshole. Speaking of the woman by the window. Yeah, that she spent the whole flight wondering why she is seated next to an a-hole. Well, I looked at that and I was just like, that's interesting. But of course, I am one of those people. Once I start a thread, I want to see where is it going. And I was surprised. Imagine spending your time making up stories about me while I'm over here surrounded by people I love living my life. The people spreading the racist label don't know me, don't know my heart, and don't know my life. If they did, they wouldn't be saying it. I'm not going to spend my energy proving myself to strangers. The people who actually know me already know the truth. Hashtag know me before you judge me. Hashtag positive vibes. Hashtag. It said, anyway, as you can see, she has her hand cupped over her mouth laughing. She says, imagine hating on me and living my best life with my family. Imagine hating on me and living my best life with my family. Well, apparently, this lady is, oh, you know what? Let me finish this and I'll show you what else I have here. And that's not the worst of it, says one person. That's not the worst of it. Why is she taking pictures of yet more unsuspecting Black people? Something permission. She's really weird. That is her family. Those Black people, that's her family. And someone even spells it out. They said, relax, people, their family. All y'all had to do was look at her page. This is her response on Threads to everyone calling her racist. Nothing clearly explains their family or related, like you claim. Seriously, don't be stupid. And she didn't mention her being a family as well. And the person insists, I looked at her Instagram and Facebook. Her late husband is Black, and so are her kids. This this can be one of her husband's people. In other words, from her husband's side of the family. Y'all are the ones looking stupid for jumping to conclusions. Ain't this interesting? I wasn't sure where it was going either. Whose family? Surely not the Black young lady in the window seat. Why are you showing us the white lady with some random Black people? You think racists can't take pictures like that or have Black friends? Embarrassing. Yes, racists can take pictures like this and have Black friends. I'm showing you a screenshot from her video with her grandchildren's family. But feel however you want to feel. And Maya says, is the girl in the OG picture family? I guess that means old girl. Is the girl in old girl's picture family too? Or was that a stranger to her? Because that is weird as you know. No matter how the color, to take pictures of people. And the guy says, straight off Facebook, look like the same girl to me. So this looks like people jump to conclusions. What it is that I forgot what her name was. Hold on, let me see what her name is again. Oh, Mama Floyd. Mama Floyd is just desperate to create content. Mama Floyd looks like she's retired and she has found something to do. She's trying to create content. And unfortunately, sometimes things are not exactly what they appear to be. That is her family. And it seems like she has every shade of family you could possibly dream of. Even her hairstyle kind of reflects her family. It's the only way I can put it. It kind of reflects her family. So people assumed that she was a Karen who just took a random picture of someone on the airplane, but apparently this lady is from Philadelphia, and she also has relatives in the South and frequently flies back and forth. So I didn't really go through much of the threads, but I went through enough to establish exactly what was going on here. So she seems like a really nice person. I think the only thing that happened was just a bunch of confusion because, like any content creator, you try to you try to record everything in your day, which, believe me, content creation can be very, very hard work. It is hard work because you're constantly recording and editing and such. And if you're one of those people that you share every time you go to the bathroom or every time you pay your electric bill, then of course there's going to be confusion about some of your posts. So I believe that's all that happens. But she seems like a really cool person. She has quite a few followers. And yeah, that is Mama Floyd. And is this it? Yeah, this and one more thing. How Prince Harry and Meghan are losing the AI war with royals. SK says, how creating fake family photos and videos with AI something to be won is reality that bad that it has to be distorted with AI to sell certain narratives? Harry and Meghan are happy with their reality. They don't need to create another version. They love the reality they live. Ooh, I love that. They love the reality they live. They don't have to create things because they love the reality they live. Come on. Sophie, my husband is not gay. End of. Her husband is not gay. So you guys stop with all those rumors. Her husband is as straight as an arrow. Okay? All right. I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to look at a couple of your comments and then I'm going to see you guys later tonight. Camilla looks like she smells like an ashtray. I could kind of see that. I could see that. Yes, I could see. I could imagine that she smells like an ashtray. Oh, let me see if I can find that. I think I know what you're talking about. I'm going to see if I can find it. That I will do. Okay, here goes. There you go. Is that the Camilla that you're speaking of? Is that the Camilla that you're speaking of? Sitting around in her dainties, smoking cigarettes, drinking whiskey, having a glass of hooch. Is that the Camilla you're speaking of? Well, you know, there was that old rumor going around about him. Let's see. Karen says, it's always been Charles supporting the Daily Fail. The Fail must have some really horrendous things they could tell. Charles, the protector of that weirdo. And yeah, that weirdo. And the other weirdo, plus many more. Yeah, he has had an assortment of pervs that he's been friends with. A whole collection of them. Okay, you guys, do not forget to hit the like button. Also, consider a membership with Royal Sussex. A membership at Royal Sussex is as low as $4.99. And it goes a long way to help support this channel. Also, what else is there? Well, I guess that's it. All right, my darling people, I am going to say cheers for now. Also, you guys, please pray for the Sussexes. This must have been a horrendous blow for Harry. And while we may not know exactly why Harry wanted to bring the children, we can only suspect that he wanted to share some things with them from his place of birth, but it may be something deeper than that. I really don't know. But whatever the case is, I am going to be here to support both Sussexes, and I invite you all to do the same. Also, continue to pray for everyone in the Sussex squad who is in need of prayer, people who are in need of healing, because there are some people that have been going through some medical issues, and they need all of the positive energy that you can send their way. So please do keep everyone in your prayers. We need it at a time like this. I did something to bring some quality to my life, and it only costs about, I think it was $34. Every day, well, not every day, but from time to time, I go to close the lid on the toilet. I go to close it, and it makes that horrendous clapping sound. Oh, it hurts my ears. And so I realized that is the generic seat that came with this place. I don't like it. I don't approve. So I went and purchased one of those ones that close slowly, the ones that don't echo all over the house when you close it. I got one of those, and now I don't have that anxiety of, letting the seat down or closing it too fast, and then you got to try to catch it and prevent it from making that loud noise. So if you have suffered similarly, I do recommend that you just buy another toilet seat. I mean, trust me, you're going to get your use out of it. And it will pay for itself. It will pay for itself. I feel so bougie that my toilet closes slowly. Instead of that whack, whack, whack. It doesn't do that anymore. Now it just kind of close. Oh, I'm living good. I'm living good over here. I have one of those slow closing toilet seats, as seen on television, or in my case, as seen at the motel. It's the small things that brings quality to your life. It really is. It's the small things. It doesn't take anything too big. Okay, so that sounds weird. It's the, you know what? I'm done. I am done. Um, uh, okay. You're tired. You get weird when you get tired. Sign off and come back later. Okay. All right. A little voice in my head just said, "You're tired. You get weird when you get tired." Oh, man. Yeah, but it's only about 34 bucks. I think that's what I paid. And now I'm not insecure. I'm not insecure anymore. I can close it without waking up the whole house. I can close it without cars passing by wondering if somebody's shooting or something. I should have done this a long time ago. Yeah, so many people in the Commonwealth are so bamboozled by this family. I don't get it. I do not get it. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sitting up here reading comments. I forgot I'm still logged on. See your cookies and cream. You guys, the Sussex Squad has the best community on the on these platforms. We have the best community. We really do. Already, I'm looking forward to New Year's Eve. I'm looking forward to our New Year's Eve marathon, but that's okay. We got a whole summer and fall and early winter to get through before we get there. But that's always a fun night. Maxine Lawrence from South Africa, thank you for being here. Fall is such a beautiful time of the year. I love it. Well, I hate to go because you guys are having a nice chat, and I hate to go, but all right, I'm gonna have to though. I'm sorry, you guys. I will see you all later today. I hope we have some good news later. I really do. We need some good news. You guys don't forget we have Cookie Queens coming up in August the 7th. All right, cheers everyone. Love you guys. I will see you next time.